Hello viewers, welcome to Digital Wave Academy tutorial. This tutorial is a part of our Mastering Python list series, and in this tutorial we shall be looking at three different ways of creating a list. The first method is by using list literals. For instance, a list literal is simply a value which contains a list, and we want to assign this value to the first variable. So we had done something like this in our previous class, but technically we didn't call it a name. Now this is referred to as a list literal. And to see how it looks like, it is simply looks like this, just the way it is, right? Okay, so that is the first method and is simple to understand. The second method is simply by making use of the list function. The list function accepts an argument which is an iterable. An iterable could be a string, a tuple, a list, or even a set. So I'm going to use a string as my sample iterable. The idea here is that I do not want this to be a string, but I want every character of the string to be an item of a list. So how do we do this? We are simply going to use the list function and pass in the vols string argument which contains the vols. Now, when we print only this, we are simply going to see a string. But when we move ahead to print the vol list which contains this, we are going to see a list of vols whereby each vol character is separated by a comma, and the entire vol items or characters are enclosed using a square bracket. So just for you to know, this is the square bracket, the beginning and the closing of a square bracket. So technically that is how a list is created in this case. So this is the second step. Moving forward to the next step, which is using list comprehension. The idea here is that we want to generate a list by making use of a loop and obeying certain conditions. You are not actually expected to know how the entirety of the list comprehension at this point, but what you're expected to know is that comprehension is another way of creating a list. And how do we do this? This example shows a list comprehension generated by creating a list of even numbers between 2 and 10. Now we have a number which we are going to return, and we want to loop through from 2 all the way to 11 with a space of 2. Now don't get it twisted here. 11 is excluded from the value. So even though 11 is stated, it's simply going to stop at a number immediately less than 11, which is typically 10. So if we print this, we are going to see 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. More on this later. For now, thank you for watching, and please do not fail to subscribe, share, and click the notification bell. See you in our next tutorial.